Thanks so much. Tony Travers, local government expert, the London School of Economics. Just a few minutes ago, I talked to a Labour MP in Birmingham. So she is Preet Gill, MP for Birmingham Edgbaston, and I asked her what she thought of what was going on.
Well, look, nobody expected the largest local authority in the country to be facing such a huge financial challenge. It will worry lots of people because they'll want to know detail about what it actually means. And the council has said, of course, it's got to deliver statutory services, so protection of social care, children's services, waste collection, all the things it needs to do, it has to continue. But what we have now is MPs will be meeting with Michael Gove tomorrow morning. We'll be hearing from him how he is going to support the City Council, because no one wants to see services stripped back. And clearly who pays is going to be the real key question.
This comes down, it seems, to mainly to this equal pay case, which was a ruling in 2012 at the Supreme Court. So they've had a good 11 years to get their ducks in a row. And it looks as if, they just lost control of it.
You're absolutely right. Look, the council paid out £1 billion 11 years ago, but it didn't just pay out £1 billion. It halved its workforce. So it really stripped back so many services that people were able to access in the communities were no longer there. And I think that is going to be the concern. How do we find the money? Nearly £1 billion. This will probably be again. Who will essentially pay? And I want to remind people, though, that the central government has stripped Birmingham City Council of £1 billion from its funding. This is something that all local authorities are having to face. So, the government has really got to step up and make sure that Birmingham doesn't go bust. It's in no one's interest, but we've got to be able to make sure that we don't end up in this situation again. And so the job evaluation scheme that the council are doing is absolutely right. They should have learnt lessons from what happened previously. Clearly, they haven't.
Yeah, well, I'm presuming they haven't got problems with unequal pay anymore, or are you telling me they have?
Well, I mean, that's the bill, isn't it? The bill
so wait a minute, the bill is for more recent cases than the ones that were dealt with 11 years ago?
Yes.
Oh, yes, my goodness.
That's the whole issue here. Is we've got another equal pay claim, and what they've currently estimated that to be, the bill is about 750 million. But of course, that is increasing every single day, and that's why the council is going to have a look at its assets. So how is it going to raise this money? As I said, the government has stripped the council of £1 billion. So even if it gave that money back, it could pay the liabilities on the equal pay claim it faces. That's why the job evaluation scheme right now is important, so we don't end up in this situation again in the future.
But if we look at that 2012 case in the Supreme Court, that was all about teaching assistants, cleaners, catering staff, and so on, and female workers not getting the same as men. And it was, as you say, it was very costly. It was more than £1 billion. How on earth can the council have then broken the law in the years since and run up another billion?
Well, look, that's a really important question, and that's why there's got to be some level of accountability. There are 2 reviews and a judge-led inquiry that is currently taking place to look at, because actually many councils would normally put aside money knowing that this will come up. So in 10, 15 years' time, when, you're faced with a situation like this, you have the money set aside. I mean, the questions have got to be asked, what was Birmingham City Council doing, knowing that it very much could face such liabilities in the way that it currently is.
Obviously, there will be some national repercussions from all this, and there will be people who say it looks at the moment as if Labour is going to walk the next general election. You won't be taking that for granted, I know. But if you look at Birmingham, Europe's largest local authority, you see what happens when Labour run things, which is that they end up broke. How do you respond?
Look, I think that's a really unfair assessment, because we've seen Thurrock, Croydon, Slough and Nottinghamshire issue Section 114 notices. We also know that lots of councils are facing a deficit in their budget. They're not going to be able to balance their books. This isn't about making that kind of, Tory Labour link, and it isn't about the Labour-run council. Of course, this is about government decisions. Let's not forget Rishi Sunak boasting in his leadership election that he was stripping money from councils that needed it to give it to councils that didn't. And this government's taken £1 billion. I mean, that does impact services. When you've halved your workforce, how much more can you strip back? So I think in the round, we've got to look at government is responsible. We don't want to see citizens pay. We've got to find a solution. Birmingham City Council is the biggest landlord. It will have to look at its assets in terms of being able to pay this liability bill that it's got facing it. And we've got to find a way forward.
Thank you so much, Preet Gill, who's the Labour MP for Birmingham Edgbaston.